Hi there, this is Jacob Nash, and this is a review of Module 75 on conformity and obedience. Will you obey? Mr. Bellamy will not. So, if you don't know who that is, which you might not, that's someone this band is almost like completely anti-conformity, which is what we're going to be talking about. These, that is me, and that is me seeing that song being performed, um, in 2010. But I don't like people to know how old I am. Just because I'm young, that doesn't mean I can't help with these videos. Conformity, adjusting our behavior or thinking to coincide with the group standard. So depending on what group of friends you're with, you might sound different. That's an example. You try to conform. Now, social influences. Normative is influence resulting from a person's desire to gain approval or avoid disapproval. So maybe you dress like your friends to try to be approved by them. Now, informational, resulting from willingness to accept others' opinions about reality. So we start to accept others' opinions. All right, here's something kind of crazy. Milgram shock spearmint. This is something you're going to probably think is crazy. So remember I talked about Zimbardo's thing in the last one. Well, there's another one that's something kind of crazy. This time, teacher and learner. So this was the learner and a teacher. So the learners were put in like an electric chair type thing, and the teachers would ask a question. If they got it wrong, then they flipped a switch that was supposed to shock the learner. Now the learners, here's the thing, they weren't actually getting shocked. They were told by Milgram to pretend like they're getting shocked, and each time they get a question wrong, a new switch is flipped that's supposed to be worse pain or worse shock. And so they're supposed to be like, ow, like sound like it hurts more every time. Because obviously they couldn't actually shock them. That's not that, remember our guidelines, we can't do that. Now, the last button, Milgram tells the teacher that that will make them dead. Dead. Okay? So keep that in mind. Every time they flip a switch, they think that they are shocking the learner. The learner pretends like they're being shocked. They're not actually. So it's like, what is 2 plus 2? 5. I mean, obviously that's not actually, but it's what is 3 plus 3? 7. And then they go all the way to the end. And Milgram just wants to see how far will they go. If the teacher hesitates to press the button or flip the switch, then he'll say continue. And what percent do you think actually went all the way to this button, which is kill, the button that supposedly would kill the person, and they actually thought it would? Well, I would think a low percent, but actually 67. 67% of people that participated in the experiment willingly pushed the kill button. Fortunately, it's not real, but that's a little bit interesting to know. That doesn't seem very good to me. So under pressure, people may do things. That kind of might explain some reasons why there were some super hostile German officers during the Holocaust. If they're under pressure, definitely not an excuse. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that might provide explanation for why people might do horrible things. Under pressure, you might do something you wouldn't think you would do. All right, now we're talking about another researcher, Asch, or however you say that. To conform, we may copy what others say to not stand out. So here in this example, there was a group of people, and Asch told all the people, all right, this guy's going to come in. See this guy with the white shirt on? He's not in yet, but he tells everyone else, when I ask which line is equal to this one, You are going to say that it is line B. Well, obviously it's line C, but we're just going to see what happens. And so that guy comes in, everyone says B. What do you think he says? He knows it's C. That's why he looks so confused, but he just decides to say B because he wants to conform. That's what that research is about. According to Milgram, when were participants least likely to deliver maximum levels of shock or kill, basically? When they heard the learner screaming in agony. Well, I didn't really say that, but that's kind of obvious. Create an example of Asch's research on conformity. That's just what I said. Julia, Pierre, Joe, and Mayu all answer 61 to a math question. Early knowing the answer is 62 still says 61 conform with the rest of the group. Have you ever done that in the class? You didn't want to be the one person that says something different, and then as it turns out, you were right. The influence resulting from a person's desire to gain approval or avoid disapproval, normative, normative social influence. Which study of social psychology received the greatest criticism? Well, Milgram. Fortunately, the people weren't actually shocked, but it shows that he tried to get people to supposedly kill people. But that's the end of this module. Thanks for watching.